can bite my tongue. I can stay awake for days if that's what you want. Be a number one. I can fake a smile. I can force a laugh. I can dance and play the part if that's what you ask. Give you all I am. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human, and I crash and I break down. Your words in my head, knives in my heart. You build me up and then I fall apart, 'cause I'm only human.
So state your name,
Bethany Poston.
and what do you do?
I am a teacher at Clark High School. I teach humanities.
All right, and how have you become familiar with the effects of depression and anxiety through your career?
I encounter kids a lot of times who struggle with it, and since I teach the gifted and talented population, I think I see it probably more than most teachers would.
That's okay. Okay, so what's your name?
Jane is Ernest,
Okay, how old are you?
17.
Okay, so one of the first questions I have to ask you is, how have you been affected by depression or anxiety?
Well, anxiety pops up a lot when I'm in school because of a very stressful situation. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be like perfect, 'cause I'm a perfectionist. Depression tends to pop up randomly, but you would mostly see it during soccer because it makes my body physically hurt and I won't be able to play.
And you said since you work with gifted kids and you see that they have like anxiety and depression, do you think the schoolwork and the being in that class has any effect on their mental health?
Yes and no. I think that the high level of the class probably exacerbates it and makes it worse. But I also think teachers of gifted and talented students recognize that and try to mitigate those factors quite a bit. For me and Craft, our goal this year entirely was to work with mental health of gifted and talented students, because the anxiety is extremely high in this population. And so, yes and no, I think.
What do you know is your main cause for anxiety?
For anxiety, it's definitely school. And do you want to know about depression?
Yeah, you can.
The cause of my depression is there's a chemical imbalance in my brain.
Okay, and was that told to you by a doctor? Was that medically diagnosed or?
Medically diagnosed.
Okay, not self-diagnosed then?
No.
Okay, so how did you come to realize your situation? Was it before or after you were diagnosed, and did you research it?
I didn't do anything with researching. My mom has a type, like a small kind of depression. I don't know the name of it. I think it starts with a D. But I started getting really depressed in 7th and 8th grade, and then in 9th grade I tried to commit suicide, and then they didn't know about it. And then 10th grade I got officially diagnosed, got a therapist, and then it went on from there.
Okay.
Have you ever been affected by depression or anxiety personally, even in this occupation?
Oh, most definitely. I first realized I was depressed. Well, I didn't realize. When I was 17 years old, I had depression and anxiety issues. And my mom, I was like freaking out about something. And my mom was like, "You're not going to school today. We're going to a doctor." And I didn't understand that. And so she took me to the doctor, and I was on medicine all through college. And then for a while I quit. I was like, "I've got this. It's fine." and things went really, really badly for a few years, and then I ended up going back to the doctor, and I tried probably 5 different anxiety or depression medicines before one of them finally worked. And so for a long time I thought, it's just me, there's nothing that'll work. And then finally you hit on the right thing, and for the last probably 3 years it's been really, really good. So definitely struggle with that, and I think it helps me appreciate especially children who go through that. Like, I kind of get that on some level.
Feel comfortable, or did you attempt to seek help in the early stages of your depression?
I didn't know what depression was in my early stages of it. I only found out, like, oh, that's depression, like, looking back on it. So no, I didn't seek help.
So how did you define depression before you realized?
I just thought it was immense sadness, but, like, it's just so much more that I can't really describe it now.
So you
We created a poll on Instagram in order to see people's opinions of mental illness on a larger platform. Out of approximately 200 people that answered the poll, 71% said they knew someone who had a mental illness. This shows that mental illness is an issue that a vast amount of our population struggle with every single day.
You were diagnosed at 19 after going to rehab. Take me through your journey, and were there signs that were missed by the people around you?
Yes, I think there were tons of signs that were missed by the people around me, but I didn't also vocalize it. That's why it's so important. That's why I'm involved in this campaign for mental health called Be Vocal. And I think that the more that you're vocal for yourself and also others, the more that people can help you. That's why it's so important that you speak up. But yes, I suffered from bits of mania and also bipolar depression. That was the main thing that really got me, and I was lonely, I was sad, I was miserable, and I couldn't figure out why, because I was on top of the world, it felt like. But yeah, I was struggling with it, and I want to do whatever I can to help others,
including talking to legislators.
We then asked if the people they knew had received help. Only 54% said yes. This means that 46% are struggling alone every single day. Without help and support, mental illness can take an even greater toll on people.
and to help others.
Including talking to legislators on Capitol Hill, but you want to see action or better action in this country, specifically in what way, as it relates to young people particularly?
I think young people, but also adults as well. It actually takes about 10 years for someone to be properly diagnosed and find the right treatment while suffering with bipolar disorder or mental illnesses. What I would love to see is comprehensive mental health reform in our government. And I think it's really important that people are getting, that mental health treatment is more accessible than it is. I think it's actually 4 out of 10 people with mental illness are getting the treatment that they need, which leaves you to think how many other people aren't getting treatment, and it's leading to so many problems.
Finally, we asked whether they believed mental illness was taken seriously in our society, and an alarming 75% stated that not enough is being done to bring to light the seriousness of mental disorders. This number should be decreased in order to help those in need achieve a healthier mindset.
What is your opinion of society's view of mental illness?
I think society doesn't talk about it enough. We talk a big game about how we should be addressing it more, but I don't think we do. And I think there's a stigma attached to it. And so we say it's all okay and to talk about it, but if you have any sort of, it can be bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, but if there's any sort of mental health issue, there's a stigma attached to it, which is ironic because in other issues there's not. Like if somebody had cancer or diabetes, we wouldn't attach a stigma to that, but we kind of blame people with mental health issues.
What is your opinion of society's view on mental illness?
I think society's view is a little skewed right now, but it is getting better because certain mental illnesses like depression and anxiety are being brought to light more, and more people are speaking out about it. but I think the older generation doesn't like to talk about that, and so they want it to be like shuttled away, quiet, hidden, like don't do anything about it. But I feel like the millennials and Generation Z are being like, yeah, I have depression, and like, but I'm still the same person that I am. Don't change your ideas or opinions about me.
Do you believe there is a right way to approach mental illness? If so, what is it?
Yes, in regards to talking about it, I think we have to be more aware and more open and more communicative about it. Now, within like the individual kind of treatments and ideas, I don't necessarily think so. But I think the first step is, as a society and as people and as doctors and as healthcare professionals, just the step one of talking about it and normalizing it maybe puts us in the right direction. But as far as other answers past that, I have no guess.
Do you believe that there is a right way to approach mental illness? And if there is, what would it be?
See, that's a tough question because I think it varies from person to person. But if it was one of my friends, I would approach it in a sense of like, I think I would kind of do what my dad does. It's like, okay, how can I help you? Well, not like my dad because he wants to fix it, but I would already like, I do have some friends that struggle with that before I was not self-diagnosed, but diagnosed. And I would just like help them through and just lend them my support and like advice if any way I could.